Okay, so wonderful. Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Saturdays for Sustainability Learning. All of us are joining here to gain holistic understanding of sustainability related concepts, reports, news. Uh, the purpose why we are joining. So, this is a mastermind group. You can consider it as a mastermind group. So, we have this group is for peer-to-peer learning, understanding new concept, helping members to get feedback, inputs from each other. So that's what a mastermind group is, and it's always a concept of synergy. So spending this 1 hour, 60 minutes is very crucial resource I would consider for that all of you are spending. So what I would expect that you will get is at least something new, maybe recent updates that are happening. What is it? Networking with fellow professionals, learning opportunities or career opportunities, and thought leadership. So, where we want to take sustainability or where it is heading. Okay, so if you're joined for the first time, so this is something that we always discuss, and this is a data information knowledge wisdom DIKW pyramid. So with AI, we are finding more data, more information, but less and less wisdom part and knowledge part that is there. So that something can come from human intervention or I would say experience, and that's why we are here together, all humans, to discuss about it. And second is the innate capability of human being is to ask pertinent question and getting the answer. So I would say discussion, question and answer is the best way to learn. So please feel free to ask questions and sharing your insights, sharing your experiences because that matters. Okay, so this is non-judgmental group and please feel free to share your insights, your experiences as well. All right, so if you have already joined this session, so I hope you have already registered. If you have registered one time also, that's enough. Okay, so I have just paused sending calendar invite for all the members. If you haven't receiving it, so you can just send me one message and I'll add it to the calendar as well. But otherwise, don't need to register again. You are already registered. Okay. Apart from that, as I promised initially starting this initiative, so this year we are focusing more on systems thinking. So this is something we are coming up for the next month, February. So there's a 3 days workshop, basics of systems thinking. So me and Siddesh, we both will be conducting this systems thinking basics workshop. So if you want to join, you can. Okay, so this is just an announcement that we will be starting soon. That's a very interesting activity. All right, so starting for today's session, so which is about global risk report, and we have been reviewing it for last 2 3 years, and this year's while reviewing it, the first question that I was having, so why we are doing it, so whether there is any outcome from this kind of reports or not. Two reasons. So first is so maybe authenticity of this report. What is the use for maybe all of us? So that was the first question. So while I was thinking, so this is an iceberg model for systems thinking, right? So what we see is the visible are only the events. Okay, so the what is happening? So generally we are only seeing events and I would also say that generally when we read newspapers, so news are always the events, right? So what has happened here, there may be related to war or maybe related to trade. So majorly we all have event level understanding, but we don't go deeper. So that's something that is maybe how we perceive things or how it is there because of visibility. It is easy to grasp, easy to get, and that's what. So we don't question it. So looking at it, what I thought was this report will be might be useful. Okay, so we might not be taking everything whatever the report is saying that is 100% applicable for our sector or for our geography or our country. But these are the few things that we will keep in our mind while going through this report. So first is what benefit can we get from this report as a different stakeholders. Second is whether there is any correlation for sustainability and this global risk report, what insights we can derive with sustainability lens maybe. And third is uh, while doing materiality assessment, so the risk is very important concept, I would say, in materiality assessment, right, for any organization. So that also we tried to find out while going through this report. Okay. And while doing this research or while reading about it, so this is something that I found out. I'll share it later on. Okay. There was one organization who also took materiality assessment initial input from the global risk report. So that was there. Okay. So directly we can jump to the global risk report and I'll be sharing it on my screen. Just a minute. Yeah. So last year also, I remember we had reviewed this complete report for 2025. So maybe the same things we might not repeat, but please feel free wherever you want to intervene. Please add your insights. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is a global risk report. I hope you are seeing it on your screen. And this is 21st edition for 21st year, we would say, from World Economic Forum, and there is basic information about this report, so that I'll just quickly share. So how this is captured is, so it is GRPS, that is Global Risk Perception Survey, that has been they have been doing it for years. So having stakeholders of around 1,300 people across academia, business, government, international organization, NGOs, and all these responses are collected, and along with this report, so they also have executive opinion survey, EOS. Okay. So this is also the inputs from this also gets added, and all these findings are represented in global risk report. And some of the definition we will also see in appendix 1, but global risk, what this report is focusing on. So global risk is defined as the possibility of the occurrence of an event or condition that, if it occurs, would negatively impact a significant proportion of global GDP, population, or natural resources. So that's a global risk that we are looking at. And generally what they do is, so all these inputs are captured, let's say from a period of April to October or November, and then they then they work out on these insights and then they publish it. So every year this activity that they do. Okay. Yeah. So key finding is, so whatever risk they identified, they publish it for majority for the two scenario, I would say. And in this year, I guess the third scenario is also there's a current risk. What is immediate in this year? Short term to medium term, that is for next 2 years, which is to 2026, and in the long term, which is 10 years timeline. So they publish all these reports and the all these risks, and what are the insights, so that they have shared. So multilateralism is in retreat. So all countries are focusing maybe more on their own for last year. So that we have already seen. Economic risks are intensifying. So with tariff wars going on, the global, the geo-economic confrontation is there. That's already a risk. And these are the top risks that they have listed. Okay. Yeah. So this is for immediate basis for this year, for 2026. What do you think? Okay. So these are the top risks. And apart from that, this is the major outlook of the risk that this report shares every year. So this is a likelihood, or the likely impact or severity of the risk over 2 year and 10-year period. So this is what they have found. So top 10 risk over the next 2 years are, and the top is geo-economic confrontation, the first. Second is misinformation and disinformation. Last year, this was not at the top place, but these have gained maybe urgency in this year, in this year's report. Societal polarization, extreme weather events, state-based armed conflict, cyber insecurity, inequality, erosion of human rights, pollution, and involuntary migration or displacement. And all these risks are categorized in different categories, or as you can see with the color code. So blue is the economic, green is environmental, orange is geopolitical, red is societal, and what is this? Which color we would call it? Violet? Yeah. Yeah. And in the long term, as you can see over the 10 years, you can see majorly the environmental risks that are on priority. So majority of people think that these are the risks. Okay. And biggest increase in the ranking, as you can see. So last year also this risks were there in the report, but they have gained their ranking. So the most and the top in this list is a geo-economic confrontation because of the wars that we are already knowing about it from the news. The second is economic downturn, inflation, asset bubble burst, and disruption to critical infrastructure. So these are the top risks which had increased in this year. And while all these risks to the left, you can see they were stable. Okay, so let's see some of the risk from this report, and then we can discuss on it. Meanwhile, as we are going ahead, if you want me to stop somewhere or if you want to read something, please.
Yeah,
Please.
Dhananjay, can we
Yeah.
just go back to the listing the ranks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This
so
one,
I
right?
was I was just thinking one could have an interesting activities to, because when I was
Uh-huh.
looking at this, I was thinking, okay, I would have also done similar ranking. Now when
Uh-huh.
because for
Correct,
me,
correct.
misinformation and disinformation is the topmost even before geo economic
Mm-hmm.
confrontation. So it's all of course it's subjective, but it would have been an
Mm.
interesting activity to do.
Yeah.
Second, I was going to ask if since you read maybe have you found that how do they take the averaging? Because for it depends, right? For example, for certain countries like India now, pollution is a major concern, right? And it's coming in nine here, right?
Mm. Correct.
When we talk about pollution, is it the effects are long term of the pollution, or pollution is going to happen after 10 years?
No,
How?
no. No, no. So, yeah, so regarding your first question, so maybe we will do it later on, okay? Means that activity. Which of this risk you feel that this is more important or which you connect more with? So that definitely we will do it. Regarding what you are saying, no, so all these risks, so these are just a perception survey, right? So let's say we are around 8 people in this meeting and all of us share that, okay, so I think that for next 2 years this risk is important. Someone shares, no, no, this risk is important, and based on that, based on the responses from all the people, they have just ranked it. So it's just the perception of the people which they think is most important, or the severity is more for that. And regarding this participation or for India, or you are saying, so they have also given it country wise as well. So for this country, what are the top five risks? So that they have listed over here. Maybe we can check it if I just type India and we will see it. Yeah. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, over here. So for India, the first, cyber insecurity, second
Hmm.
is inequality, third is insufficient public services and social protections. That includes education, infra, pension. I would also add the healthcare.
Hmm.
So that's very much important. Fourth is economic downturn, recession, stagnation. And fifth is state-based armed conflict, proxy or civil wars,
Hmm.
coup, terrorism, etc.
It's just interesting how insecurity is first, which I think should not be in a way from my side because
Mm,
most of the major population, is not threatened by cyber. insecurity. I don't know, like I'm just overthinking, but like
Mm-hmm.
poor people doesn't get affected. Poor people get affected more by inequality and economic, maybe a downturn and, public services. So
I
so
mean, my
it's again depends on who the context of who those people are
Correct.
who are ranking. Then most of the people would be from privileged and uh, privileged background. So
Correct. 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 And
so
last year also we had discussed this, right? I'm sorry, someone was talking.
yeah,
I
yes,
think Dur
yes, yes.
Raja.
I just thought of sharing my inputs about this
Please.
part of
Uh-huh.
cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would have been based on the impact or the impact perspective. They would have listed it at the top
Yeah,
compared to the other things. Maybe the
Yeah.
amount of population into this field is very limited, but the kind of impact it would make maybe yeah would be vast. On that basis, it would have been listed top. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
my perception, my idea about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also because if we look at the definition again on the top, right? GDP is the main criteria, and we always discuss, right? And we think about happiness. GDP doesn't answer the question how many people are actually benefiting from that GDP, right? Even if GDP is high, only maybe few top 1% or 5% are just benefiting from that GDP, not the entire population. So that's also a tricky thing when we think about it.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. But yeah,
Ashok.
valid points. Yeah. Yes, Ashok. Yeah. You had
Mm,
raised your hand. Yeah.
yeah. Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, what I feel is like why they're saying cyber insecurity reason is the population who are using mobile phones. Now everyone uses mobile phones. What is the level of understanding of technology do they have? And if you look at the past few years, the digital arrest and kind of cases have increased a lot. Even professionals who were like retired people, even people who were in key positions were also threatened by these kind of cyber insecurity. And I think when they consider cyber insecurity, it is not only about money, but trust, use of AI to manipulate and data theft, even identity theft. So this threat is always there, and it is not going to move down the chart very fast. So because technology is evolving, so that could be the reason why they are mentioned as cyber insecurity. Because the today everyone has access to mobile and everyone has a smartphone, so that could be the reason.
Agree. Agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very well, valid point. Very valid point.
And true means in every newspaper, even I would say that pick any newspaper and you will find something cyber fraud or something like what you said, no? Digital arrest
Yeah, and
and
also
every day.
it's
So
going to
that
increase with the use of AI. And I just wanted to say the definition that they have mentioned. If you can search cyber insecurity, the definition they have given is, I don't know, definition is like as has been renamed cyber espionage and warfare with cyber
correct.
crime now included as an economic risk within crime and illicit economic activity, formerly referred to as illicit economic activity. So, but they're not elaborated on it. But yeah, so it's
It would be there, no?
they
So
should have given some elaborate definition of what cyber insecurity for them is in this context.
I guess it is there. It is there. Just a minute.
Mhm.
They have added over here, no? So just a minute.
I just found one paragraph actually.
Just a minute. I'll just open it in another window this time. All right.
This is interesting. Azerbaijan adverse outcomes of artificial intelligence technologies is the first.
Hmm. You read this one or
No, not
same,
this.
no? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is good.
Yeah, so what they have done, so in appendix, so they have given definition of all these risks.
Mm.
Okay. So cyber insecurity, the state of vulnerability in digital systems, either accidental or deliberate in nature, that can be exploited by cyber criminal or malicious actors, includes but is not limited to cyber crime, ransomware, data theft, or online fraud, and exploitation by cyber criminals or malicious actors to interfere with government operations, conduct espionage, and impact national security. Yeah. And yeah, so just one point I remember regarding the cyber insecurity. For India, we are now all the transactions of more than 2000 rupees, I guess. So that will be slowing down in our UPI app for India, and it will be checked, it will be verified. If there is any issue, it will be flagged. So I guess just 2 days back, I read it. It's not a worry for customers, but that is good, I guess, security feature. So if you're doing first time transactions to some space, somewhere, so it will flag it, it will slow it down. So at least it's a good practice, I would say. All right.
Can we go back to, sorry, the India thing again?
Yeah.
I think that is the one. Yeah.
This.
Hmm. Oh, environment is not here. It's surprising.
Mm. It didn't make to top five, and for majority of the countries, you can see
Hmm.
green is not there.
Because it's considered long term again. No, that's the issue.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and one of the issues that we raised last year also, right? So I'll share that. So just a minute. That's
I
why we should be very careful while taking all the inputs from this kind of report. So the representation you can see Europe and North America. So that's almost 60%
It's always
of
that
all the
case,
respondents.
right?
Yeah. So and for Asia, if you consider, so it's less than 20%. This is 7, this is 7, this is 6. Very less actually. So that's the issue. So it would be skewed, so no issue about it. So maybe for India or for specific organization, if you want to consider it, so we should be little bit of maybe skeptical. We should see it whether it is making sense or not. But yeah, so initial first question that we were having while reviewing this report was, what are the learnings that we can get from such kind of report? And first thing that came to my mind was, so first thing is, just a minute. At least we will get to know where it is heading, the long-term trend. Yes, Ashok, please. I'll keep this slide for us.
Yeah, the perspective may be different. Like
Mm,
when they've not mentioned straightforward, but when we say insufficient public services, when India is concerned,
mm,
so it is even it comes to health also. When you're saying health, then health is being affected by pollution also. So
correct.
if you're looking in that way, so what insufficient public services can be, what they say is education, infrastructure, healthcare, pensions. and lack of robust public services can undermine human capital development and overall economic growth. So, I mean, people sitting at their homes during winters, I mean, in places like Delhi NCR, obviously your economic growth, I mean, you will not be able to do anything. So,
Correct.
if you look at, I mean, in that perspective, yeah, it is kind of addressed directly, but they have not mentioned in this one as as the team is saying. That is true. And if you compare even the entire list for the entire world,
Mm-hmm.
many things for the short term and the long term are common. So
Mm-hmm.
what do they feel is
Yeah.
that we will not be able to. I felt looking at this, I felt, I mean, people are pessimistic rather than being optimistic, maybe because of the global conditions which are changing. America, I mean, US is, I mean, moved out of many things, and Europe is also changing. Russia, based on people are not really, I mean, optimistic that they will be able to tackle at least a few of these things, which are important.
True.
And I mean, uh, decision cannot be made kind of situation.
Yeah. True. And I really like your point. So what you said, no? So maybe means though we are seeing it not as a particularly listed as an environmental issue, but all these things are interrelated, and that's what actually this kind of nexus. Okay, so this interconnections map they have tried to do, but to be frank, so it is not. Means I personally would give more importance to maybe because there are many things which are directly related that we can see, like natural resource shortages and the uh, socio economic or the geo-economic confrontation. So that should have really close uh, connection and in that way. So they have tried to map it, but yeah, so the interrelations are always there. So one risk aggravates another risk, or maybe if we could tackle one risk properly, so that can also reduce the other risk as well. So all these things uh, are moving in tandem, so we can say, right? But yeah, so that's what the systems thinking models we try to see the interconnections. Yeah, so we had seen this, no? So maybe we can focus any one risk if you want, and we can see it. Yeah, so
Maybe we can choose one which is which is common across the globe. And then maybe in that criteria we may try to choose one and discuss for the benefit of all.
sure, sure. So which one we want to pick from top 10? Cyber insecurity?
If no opposition, I think I suggest we can go by. If no opposition, yeah.
No, why I would say there are two, three reasons. First is cyber insecurity is also long-term risk.
Mhm.
Means it will be in the future also, right? And second reason is we all are directly related to it. Means in our
Mhm.
day-to-day life also, cyber insecurity is something we have to be cautious about.
Yes, then good choice then. Yeah.
Just yeah, before going that, just one thing I wanted to share. Before we started, we had few questions, no? So I was just thinking about it. So for different stakeholder group, this would be different. And for any organization, if they want to, let's say, analyze what are the risks, and accordingly prepare. So maybe this stakeholder group would be more helpful for them. For example, for next 2 years, if we say for a private sector, maybe they will focus more on this because this is more related to them, right? So in this way, if any organization want to just check with the, let's say, double materiality, or after concluding their report, they want to just check whether how they are aligning with global risk report and what they are doing. So in that way, I guess this can be used, this stakeholder group, the categorization. So accordingly, they can prepare. All right. This can be one of the use for our stakeholder group. We can just check which are the top risk over there and how we are prepared. And one of the benefit that we can get from this is, I would say, in tactics, it's called, right? Perceived tactic is no tactic. If there is some competition or some two actors are there, A and B, if a tactic of A is already perceived by B, and then they can have a proper uh, counter attack, or in sports that's done, right? So in the same way, if a risk is there and we know about it, so at least we have a chance to correct it, right? So that can be one of the outcome or use from this report. Yeah, so and one thing that we are seeing is, as Siddesh, you said initially, right? So environmental risk is always a short-term, long-term risk. I'm sorry, not short-term. Environmental risk is always long-term risk, and that's what you can see on the long-term horizon. For 10 years, you will see all green, green for all the top, at least top five, at least three are green. So environmental risk is something that we always think it's in future. Extreme weather event,
So,
even though it is happening now.
hmm. One question I had was, is there any success story or any country which is taking such kind of report seriously and using those parameters to, create their budget, or has this happened in the past, or have you seen like this, or is this just a report and people see and
I don't think. I don't think. So country level, I don't think. Means I haven't came across any such report, but that we can check.
So what banks do is they have risk department, right? So
Correct.
like they do risk analytics, use statistic, use
Mm.
what do you call it? No, I forgot the
Risk
exact.
assessment framework
Yeah,
is also
no,
there.
I mean they have this. They use all this statistical and machine learning tools to
Mm.
gauge the risk, right? And it's an actual science they use, right? Which is
Mm.
uh, very difficult one. So now one of my friends work. So he was saying that they come up with this um, indexes as to
Mm.
where which year what will happen. So maybe next year
Mm.
recession is going to happen. So they
Mm.
have their own ways of predicting.
Mm.
This is more, I will say, this is more of a qualitative study.
Yeah.
What we feel, as you said,
Yeah.
not quantified,
Mm.
but it's getting chaotic in the sense it's very difficult to predict what is going to happen. Multiple things are happening at the same time.
Yeah. But there are few trends. Okay, so you can see for next 10 years, even this also, with age group wise also, and with different means stakeholder group wise also. If you see, uh, just in first glance, without reading the titles, you will see environmental and technological risk is something people think that it would be there in 10 years.
Hmm.
So you will see more of a technology and more of an environment. So these two risks are there.
So
Geopolitical is not there in long term.
what would have been interesting, how this would have changed according to me, if they would have given five spans: 10, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So
Mm.
environment would have shifted to 30 to 40.
Mm.
So now
Yeah.
it's like that. Long term is like they
So,
have defined it's 10 years. If we would have defined long term as 30 years, then people would have said, okay, after 30 years.
yeah. There is one psychologist, no? He is psychologist or not, I don't know, but he is writer, Dan Ariely.
Mm-hmm.
He has a book, Irrationally Rational, or rationally, predictably irrational, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Irrational. What you said first is looks correct actually.
yeah, predictably irrational. Yeah. So,
Think.
in this book, he tells that regarding that environmental risk is always a long-term risk. People perceive it as a long-term. So, whatever you do, it won't help unless and until it is because whatever is in the future, so people don't take action on that based on that. So, unless and until it is in felt in present. So, that's an interesting point of view.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is in fact, it is true. The thing is that environment is such a thing, even if you do not do anything, the carbon is going to raise. And even you take Indian or even Western philosophy or anything, everything has a birth and a death. So even the earth has to die one day. So even if you sit quiet, you do not do anything, it's anyways going to end. So,
Correct.
but the day still the earth ends, how we survive and how we respect things and how the society runs, that is how things actually work.
Correct.
So it is, I mean, people may say, anyways, it is going to end. What makes the difference? The suffering makes the difference. When I said
True.
infrastructure, when summer is approaching, people in certain areas, water shortages are really, I mean, people who do not get water and, I mean, they try to, even nowadays, even apartments also bringing in the tankers, everything, and people who are in the villages, it's not, it's a very difficult task. And water is
True.
something that is one of the reason why maybe the ancient culture they named everything and they said like you have to respect this. The values were imbibed inside.
True. That's really important. And sometime even, I also ask this question to myself whether this problem is really solvable or not. What is the future? But anyway, yeah, so and that's the kind of means overall, I would say framework, change of framework, and that's, I guess, Bhutan has done. Means they have completely shifted to the global happiness index, and that's also an interesting study. So Bhutan don't follow GDP, and they have the parameters and quantification, and it's also one of the research. Means even it's not just a quantitative study, but it's also uh, great research, and whatever their policies are, so they are found, they are directed and steered by this survey that they have. So World Happiness Report, or every 2 years, I guess they do it, 2 years or 5 years. But that
There
is good.
also, if you see the first paragraph, there also they said now that Finland was said to
Yeah.
be the happiest, but critics say, see, there's the first paragraph. Go
Yeah.
up
This one,
slightly.
no? Finland is not leading version.
Uh, no,
Hmm.
no, go up slightly,
Okay.
or slightly. Yeah, here. See, no, yeah, the first paragraph. World
Uh-huh.
is Finland. However, the WHO has long been criticized for primarily focus on a country's economic well-being.
Mm.
That money leads to more happiness. It's
Yeah.
how the Western world pursues happiness and is pushed
True.
on to the global south.
Mm. Yeah.
Because certain things they do not understand. It is a climate that makes many things change. In Western cultures, generally people, because of cold weathers, they do not interact, I mean, much. They remain to their houses. The simple example, if you can say, if you take nuclear families and joint families generally they consume less. I mean, nuclear families they consume more. The more in the sense not just about food. uh, everything because as a student, if you stay with your friends in a shared apartment, maybe abroad or even in India, the amount you consume, the cost, everything is different, and you're utilizing more, but in an efficient way. Nuclear families, when it comes to nuclear families, it is not the same case. You're not sharing it. You're not learning how to share things. So this actually affects in the long run.
True, true, true. So happiness is more important. And yeah, so that's the question. And thank you so much for adding this, Ashok. So maybe these kind of report will remind us our values as well. So where we are steering. But yeah, definitely. So this report, maybe we can see what are the risks and what we can do. So just short, we have just 5 minutes now. So we'll just check one of the risk, right? So what we decided was cyber insecurity. Let's see what is there. Do we have a dedicated system? Just a minute. Let's go to index and let's see. So I guess they have added it in infrastructure endangered, I guess. Let's see. 46. Hmm. So the infrastructure is endangered. So this is one of the thing. Overload or shutdown of physical and digital infrastructure, including satellite services underpinning critical system, internet, telecommunication, public utility, financial system, or energy due to cyber attack, intentional or unintentional physical damage, extreme weather events, and natural disasters. So there's a mix of it, right?
I also like the perception world maps that they have given for each criteria. It's like very interesting if you go and
Which
see
one?
the world
This one?
maps. Any world map you take on the top, you go on the top also.
Uh-huh,
This
this
one,
one.
for example,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's
Uh-huh.
interesting because it actually reflects the perceptions of the difference between the global south and north and western countries, right? If you can actually make out when it comes to like recession world map, you can see that western countries rank it at a very high level, that it's a very risk for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Correct.
interesting. It's more
Yeah.
about, I think this report is more about perception as to how people perceive threat.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Actually, I mean, recession and all, there's a specific way of calculating. You have a system. Every economy has like how you have wave. I mean, ups and downs. No, the same way. Every economy, there's a time when it grows, then again it comes down. So there's a systematic study of that. Maybe they're using that.
No, I
So.
I agree, but if you see, maybe the executives are aware of that, but they are calling it as executive opinion survey. So it's about opinions and it's not about the calculations that they are making. So the if the executives are making those opinions based on the calculations that they know or aware of, if they are experts, maybe then it is valid. What you're saying.
Just when the one thing which I don't find in these reports is Slowly,
Mm-hmm.
people are starting using the space. I mean, I'm not saying like settling in, I mean, on the moon or anything, but the
Mm.
way space is being used, the debris left on it, and the way, I mean, the future in the long run, no way they are considering about space. I mean, everything is now, the future will be, I mean, based on everything will be based on space only. I mean, space wars and that way. Your
Mm.
satellites, I mean, positioning, the war related, everything, dominance in space. Everything gets affected. Who will dominate the space in the future? So,
True, true.
removing those debris and how we actually utilize I mean, optimistically, maybe not very relevant, but that should also maybe it should come in the long run, like for 10 years if they're planning.
True, true. And for global, we can say that global institutions are also not functioning, no? You take any global institution currently, so that's not functioning. Uh, we are not able to stop wars. We are not able to restrict countries having indiscriminate tariff wars. So, uh, international institutions are not currently functional. So that's what I guess it is there. That's the
Mm,
biggest risk. So if
yes.
yeah.
And actually, if we, Dhananjay, if we kind of draw the systems map for, you can use all these variables to connect them together, right? For
Mm,
example, AI is there, misinformation is there, digital, cybercrime, everything is related at the end, as you said, right? And
yeah.
if we draw, then it's going to be a huge systems map. So, for example, I just recently read a paper on a paper called "How AI Destroys Institutions." Right? It's a
Mm,
40-page paper. It's a wonderful paper, so which you can share later. But it actually
sure.
talks about how AI is going to, destroy institutions, and it's already started in a way
Mm-hmm.
because we are becoming heavily dependent on AI.
Yeah. I guess last week only I watched that video. I guess you only shared that with
Hmm.
me, right? So recently, all the big corporations, uh, earlier, let's say 2 years back, all big corporations were thinking that AI will replace the human talent, but that's not the case. So practically, it can't do it, and there are many issues so that are coming up. So maybe for fine tuning our work, we should use AI. So now I am also limiting my use to AI. So having our own thoughts is more important because I realize that the kind of creativity is reduced for me. So for around 4 years back, I used to be very creative, but now I am not. So maybe intentionally I should reduce the AI use of AI. So
And also the institutions paper, it talks about this only. Like now we are having this session, right? Even the course that we are developing, we meet and we spend 2.5 3 hours to design that course. The AI, we were talking, right? AI can design that in 5 minutes,
yeah,
the entire system singing course. So,
yeah,
but the connections are important. Even that paper talks about it. Institutions are built through connections, human connections, and
correct.
AI is taking that away. You can't build institutions based on just an or some automation tool, right? So it needs human connections, which are very important to design interventions and implement that. So
Yeah, yeah, true.
The main impact about the AI, what will be one side of it is one side of the coin, what you guys are saying it. The other side of the coin, what it is highly, I mean, resource consuming. Like now, organizations are planning to go for nuclear, I mean, powered because you will not be able to provide huge amount of power for this data centers. You'll require huge amount of power. So
True.
that actually, I mean, maybe if they do not move to nuclear, then they will not be able to maintain it. So
Correct.
data centers and uh, replicating the same amount of work what a human does and what a machine does, you have to spend a lot of energy on it. The same humans can do it with very, I mean, very economically.
Correct.
maybe things we look at in a different way, like presentations, I mean calculations and everything. But the fact is that there are many other things which AI will never be able to understand. Even maybe artificial machines also may not be able to understand what life form is, or these things only humans can understand. So
True.
training them in such a fashion is like investing more than a human. The amount you invest in a person from their birth, or even if you take like an engineer is made in 4 years, they go to a college. I mean, before that, you have a lot of things in their mind. So many things come up. You can't expect the same with, I mean, a machine. And artificial intelligence, it will be only an assistant. Even in the future, it cannot take the place of a human. That
Correct.
shortage will be there, but is it right to invest in AI so much? I mean, trading off so much of energy and everything, that with time people will start I mean going against it.
True, true. And even for countries like India, we should not. Actually, we have a human capital and that we should develop. So that's something. There is a famous book called as Small is Beautiful. And he's well-respected writer, E.F. Schumacher. So, where he talks about, so whatever the solutions that we are seeing, no, so in the West, whatever works, so that should not be copied similar to the countries like us, developing countries. So
Mhm.
he is asking that, so whether only big and everything you do it as scale, only that is a good way of work, that is a good way of management, that's a conventional wisdom coming from West management, right? So that should not be the case, and that's what Schumacher also uh, says in his book, and that's very much aligned with, I guess, in current reality also. For AI, we should be literate, but not completely forgetting what assets we have, and accordingly we should develop it.
Exactly, it's a very valid point.
Yeah.
So here I just remember the kind of GST implementation.
Hmm.
Well-established countries, well-developed countries, it's very easy for them to implement some new scheme. Like for example, GST, for example, when the same GST was introduced in our scenario in our country by
Hmm.
2016, if I'm right. Uh, yeah, it had to be done in a kind of in one phase.
Hmm.
People had issues. The businesses had to see the hit of whatever they had to migrate from their old systems. Even till now, they're going through the blues of whatever done on a single day. So for our kind of country, our kind of population, our kind of capital, human capital availability, or kind of aging factors, or kind of economy, basically our kind of the economic framework of our country,
Hmm.
there should be proper plan about anything to be done. There should be a real plan, a proper plan, ideal plan. Suddenly implementing AI across the fields, across the domains. It really doesn't make much sense if
True,
such plans are there. Yeah, it's very valid point.
true, true. And Indians are always poor in this. Means
Exactly.
not, I'm not questioning competency, but I'm just saying we want to copy whatever comes from West. So that mentality we need to change actually. So
Exactly.
ideas
So.
should come from India and we should fine tune it for our case. And even if it is coming from West, we should critically analyze whether it is really suiting us,
Yes.
whether it will solve the problem or not, and reject it also, and staying confident that this is not for us. But yeah, hopefully these changes will
And
happen.
about this, the other side of AI,
Hmm.
like Mr. Ashok spoke, the
Uh-huh.
other side of AI, I also had a chance to listen about the AI's positive sides from one
Hmm.
of the Microsoft top level executives.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had a chance. I had a chance to understand what he was meaning. It's going to create a lot of opportunities as well for the people who
Yeah.
really understands for the people who really understand the AI patterns and the way AI works. It's going to create a lot of opportunities within that domain. That's what my understanding based on that talk which I heard.
True, true. But yeah, so means no doubt about it. So AI is also creating a lot of jobs and a lot of new capability at very minimal cost. So the competency which was not available for people maybe 30, 40 years back, now we are getting that at such a low cost that everyone can afford it now. But the same question means the same thing is also a big risk. Having a power of so big engines or this AI computing power at a fingertip. So that's also a big power also requires big responsibility, right? So without responsibility, the power is now at people's hand, and that's the challenge. And the second part is also learning. So learning is majorly impacting because of AI. So there is a lot of research also organizations are doing. How do we teach, especially in even the government bodies are also thinking about it. How do we teach AI in schools and colleges? I know someone, so we work in education domain for sustainability. So he works in government of Odisha. So that's also one of the ways, one of the things that the development has to happen. So in short, how do we learn with AI without impacting our learning?
I guess if you see the variables, right? Can we go just to summarize? So because I think we are at the end, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
On
we
the
are at the
top,
end.
yeah,
So
yeah. So just on the
at
top, I just
last,
had to say one thing about that
uh-huh.
since we are talking about
Which
this
one?
thing. The first one, the all the variables, the
Ah,
parameters,
okay, okay.
right?
Now
So
this one?
yeah, yeah, not this one, right? The one,
Okay.
yeah, this which one? Yeah, this one, right?
These are by the stakeholder group. Just a minute.
No, no, the
For
one
for
introduction, the ones in the introduction, I think.
okay.
Yeah,
This will work.
this one, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
this will work. So I was saying, as we are saying, right? If
ah,
cyber, you just zoom in more if you can, right?
yeah.
So if we even have to see, let's take cyber insecurity because we are talking about
Mm-hmm.
that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I feel is misinformation, disinformation, cyber insecurity. So I'm just checking which variables are related to cyber insecurity in a way, right? So if you don't have, as we were talking about digital literacy, which AI becomes part of it, right? AI can't teach. We can't teach AI in isolation. We have to teach AI. So I feel misinformation and disinformation, cyber insecurity, this AI threat of AI, right? Human rights violation, all are kind of become related, and that's why I always say that that's why scientific temper is so going to be important. That people understand how to validate facts, because when you have so much of disinformation which AI is now going to generate, there's
Mm,
so going to be so much AI slop. People should know that to differentiate between facts and which are not facts, and not
true.
get easily, uh, you know.
True.
So that's the thing I feel, and many variables are related that way.
True. True. And even regarding you just told no cyber means AI and how misinformation. Now I'm seeing many courses are also designed with AI.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's what.
many, many.
Anyone
So
can design,
yeah,
right? It's like
yeah,
in 1 second you are able to design a course now.
yeah.
So
That's a challenge.
Kulkarni sir,
Yes, Murli sir, please.
see when we this report, whatever
Uh-huh.
global uh, risk report, when we
Mm-hmm.
look at it, it is the perception across the society on those issues which are prevailing, which can impact, and which are likely to come. So when you are asked, a company is asked, a group of companies like corporates, they
Mm-hmm.
give their priorities.
Right.
If you ask academia, they give their priorities. A civil society gives their own issues. depending on what they find is critical or important. So
Right.
a collation of this, where you have commonality with the issues, they are getting highlighted. And every year when it is done, you get a trend of what is gaining priority, what is losing priority, or what has been reasonably tackled. So that gives an idea for as a pointer to the world, as the planet, how things are moving. Is it the people who are getting impacted? Is it the technology which is driving people? Or is it the resources? The whatever are the resources, mineral resources, biodiversity, whatever is there, what is the impact, or in general environment. So if we get a picture of that, then this becomes an input for organizations world over. Maybe it goes as a pointer to United Nations to come up with, if you want to, after 2030, you want to revise sustainable development goals, for example, 17 goals. We want
Right.
to make it to 20 goals, for example, or
Right.
reduce it, whatever it is. How do they take a decision at a world level? So these are all those recipes or inputs which are there. The WEF gives this report, OECD gives the report, and there are other organizations, small groups like UNGC and various other people. They have their surveys done and they give the report. What is likely to impact them? At a gross level, when you look at it, the world level, so when we say cyber insecurity, it is an issue because it impacts a very small country, an island country, to a big nation. That is why it is becoming this thing. Whereas if we look at maybe debt or something else, what they have given, it may not
Right.
have that sort of a relevance. Whereas for corporate, it is an important issue. So it just filters out and gives an idea of the trend. What is likely to be the trend in 2 years? What is likely to be the trend in next 10 years or 20 years? Based on which every country is required to come up with its policies, regulations, or to come up with mechanisms to see how do we address the risks. So it just gives an idea instead of going in bulbulaya type. We are in a position to get an idea. These are all those issues. Maybe we will have to address it. So that gets filtered down to how AI will impact, how courses will be done, etc. It cascades down. But the idea at the very highest level, apex level, if we see, are these risks which have been perceived or identified by not ordinary people, like election survey. This is done by experts who are there, who are considered as experts or knowledgeable people, and that group gives this report. So it's a pointer to how things are going to go around. Accordingly, the corporates or the governments are required to address them through various frameworks or regulations which are there. So we have to take it at that level to say if extreme weather event is an issue, yes, it is likely to be there. So the country has to come up with how do we finance. So climate finance, sustainable finance, all these issues will have to be looked into. So accordingly, it goes to the COP or wherever it is, the climate change conference, where it is debated. This is identified as a risk by such and such a forum where they have done a study, and so we will have to get more finance for addressing these issues. So it's more on policy matters for maybe the government or for the region itself, and then decide on what is to be done. So that is how the idea of this report has been made. And like this, there are so many people who do that, and everybody comes up with their inputs. And many of these things, issues will be common, obviously, because priorities may change from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, but within top 10 they will be there. So that gives a trend as to what is the collapse likely to happen to the planet, to the people, to the quality of life. So accordingly things are being taken.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for summarizing this entire discussion also, and a bigger context why we use this report. Yeah, so we have already have taken more than maybe 10, 12 minutes. But yeah, so happy to hear if anybody would like to conclude about today's session, and if we haven't heard your voice and if you think that you should share something, please, you can share. Maybe last 1 or 2 minutes if you want to share something. All right, so let's conclude this session now then, and let's connect next Saturday. Thank you.